Hey, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we've got quite a few sources centered around Pierce Brosnan, his long career, really.
hmm
We're looking at insights from articles, interviews, covering his new crime drama Mobland, that famous spy role of his, and even, believe it or not, Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Our goal here is to just, pull out the key takeaways for you. And for this deep dive, we're trying something a bit different. We're going to let each point develop more fully, giving each of us space to really explore the source material before the other jumps in.
Right, and these sources offer a really interesting mix, don't they? Touching on character depth, some behind-the-scenes stuff, and like you said, those big fan-favorite topics.
Definitely.
Letting the points breathe like this should let us focus better on the specific angles and nuances coming directly from the material you found.
Okay, let's dive right into Mobland then. The sources spend a good bit of time on this. Brosnan plays the crime boss, Conrad Harrigan, and the season finale gets a lot of focus. There's that scene where Conrad ends up back in prison, filmed in Reading Jail, which Brosnan called quite memorable, where Oscar Wilde was held. He sees that moment, Conrad being welcomed by the inmates, as sort of a nod to the Italian Job, the 1968 film.
Interesting.
And the family drama just ramps up, doesn't it? Kevin finds out Conrad didn't even know O'Hara was the rat, not Archie. And then the huge bombshell, Kevin's son, Eddie, turns out he's actually Conrad's son. The finale also sees Kevin killing the enemy, Richie Stevenson, and then that cliffhanger with Tom Hardy as Harry the Fixer, accidentally stabbed by his wife, but seems weirdly cool about it.
Right.
Brosnan himself offers some pretty deep thoughts on Conrad. He talks about finding a softer side under all the brutality, hinting at maybe abuse in his past, self-loathing, but also Irish humor, passion, pride. He calls him brutal, unhinged, even a nervous dog that bites. It's quite a character sketch.
Yeah, it really is. And building on that, the sources also explore the show's dynamics and themes, drawing from both Brosnan and Tom Hardy. Brosnan apparently sees Maeve and Conrad's marriage as built to last, but mostly for business reasons. He uses this vivid phrase, calls them bottled spiders, toxic together but sort of loved in their own world. And they're singing when arrested. He explained that it wasn't despair, it was a deliberate, big F you to the authorities. Confidence, really. Knowing they could handle prison because Conrad's done time and knows how to navigate that system. The sources suggest the Conrad-Kevin relationship looks pretty broken after all the reveals, though Brosnan hopes it could mend, mentioning the raw emotion in their prison scene, talking through the glass. He sees Kevin as rising from the ashes of abuse. And regarding the violence, Tom Hardy's perspective is highlighted that it's not glamorous, it's horrible, intended to spark conversation about the human condition. Harry's character, despite being a killer, has this comedic side through compartmentalizing, doing mundane things. His stabbing. Likely not fatal, the sources suggest, because he's positioned as kind of essential for Conrad and Maeve. All these loose ends point towards a second season, which apparently both Brosnan and Hardy are keen on. Oh, and they also mention a related series coming up, The Westies, with J.K. Simmons, about an Irish-American gang in 80s New York.
Right, the Westies, yeah. Okay, so moving beyond Mobland, the sources also touch on some other big parts of Brosnan's career, James Bond, obviously.
Of course.
When asked about who's next, Brosnan basically says it's up to the powers that be, but he does single out his Mobland co-star, Tom Hardy, saying he'd be wonderful. And the sources note this online thing, hashtag #brosback, people wanting him back somehow. He says seeing that makes him smile, feels very touched, calls it a certain delightful irony, and feels comfort and healing and gratitude from it. It's interesting, he reflects on being kicked to the curb, as he put it, when he left Bond, but now says he has no regrets and sees Bond as this gift that keeps giving.
That's quite a journey.
Yeah. They also briefly talks about a Remington Steele revival happened once, but kind of went nowhere. He just left it sitting there. And finally, the big Mamma Mia question. Who is Sophie's dad? Brosnan confirms he actually knows now. Apparently watching an ABBA documentary helped him figure it out. But he's not telling. Wants to save it, potentially, for a Mamma Mia 3, which he and the cast seem to want to do.
It's fascinating connecting those different threads from the sources, isn't it? You see him reflecting on these huge career moments with, different levels of closure or maybe anticipation. His openness about the difficult Bond exit really contrasts with how he feels now. Seeing that fan support. It shows how time and public feeling can kind of reshape perspective. And the Mamma Mia thing, while lighter, it's a great example of how actors hold on to these little narrative secrets that keep audiences hooked, hoping for the next chapter.
Definitely adds a bit of fun.
And then one source throws in these very real details about Tom Hardy, knee surgeries, sciatica, vaping. It kind of grounds everything, contrasting with the huge, often brutal characters they play. It gives you a glimpse of the real people behind it all. So taken together, it paints this picture of an actor, Brosnan, who's busy with current work, but also looking back thoughtfully on his past and hinting at what might still come.
So bringing it all together, what do we got? We've pulled these key bits from the sources, the dark world of Mobland, these really complex characters like Conrad and Harry, Brosnan's own thoughts on leaving Bond and the fan reaction now, and that little tease about Mamma Mia 3.
Yeah, and these sources give us a good look at how actors think about their roles and how storytellers deliberately craft things to leave us wanting more, whether that's through intense drama, cliffhangers, or, keeping a secret like who Sophie's dad is. It shows the choices involved.
It absolutely shows you the layers behind what you end up seeing on screen, much more than just the performance itself.
Which really leads to a question for you, listening. Knowing these insights from Brosnan, how he views Conrad, his feelings about Bond years later, the behind-the-scenes bits, does hearing that stuff change how you understand or maybe even appreciate his performances or the stories themselves? Something to think about.